To serve great food is to create memories for your customers.
But it takes more than luck.
It takes consistency, creativity, and the drive to see things through.
And every day, the stakes are high, which means it's time to stand up
from your computer and start getting real. To own your kitchen is to own your bottom line.
This is the real world. And now...
This is the real world. And now...
This is the real world.
And now is the time to foodify your business. What do you got going on here?
All right, so here we go. We use the Roma tomatoes. This is what you want to do. You know, we want to get rid of the seeds, and then we just want to dice them nice and small, right? Nice small dices. We don't want anything too big. You know. This could already be prepared on your stations. It's not something that has to be prepared at the time. And the avocado. 1 second, clean my knife. What you do is you make dices inside here. Just dice it through. Use a spoon. It all comes out. This is going to give you a good texture in there. If you didn't do this, if you just took the whole avocado and scooped it out, you're going to get more of a creamy texture. But we're going for more of a, chunkier texture. Texture is good when you're eating food, right? You don't want to. Even mashed potatoes, you don't want mashed potatoes to be just, mashed. It doesn't give you good texture, right? You want a little lump. That's how you know the homemade.
All right, so for this recipe, we're going with 8 avocados. So 8 avocados.
8 avocados here. All right. We're going to go with lime juice. Very important.
All right, so that's going to be 4 limes that we squeezed into that.
We're going with the Roma tomatoes diced.
Yes, we use 6 Roma tomatoes. Again, all this will be up on the website, so you can check out Chris's guacamole recipe.
We got the red onion diced. Finely diced. Everything's finely diced.
Yeah, so for this will be like a medium-sized onion for this batch we're making.
We have the jalapeno.
We use 2 jalapenos.
And what do we do with them, Scott?
A little secret recipe for Chris is, to keep the heat down a little bit, we did pull all the seeds out of one of them.
Right.
So depending on how hot you want it, if you want a little hotter, leave the seeds in both. If you don't want it hot, take them out of both. But a nice little trick of the trade that Chris taught us when he was making it.
And we have the garlic.
All right, so that was 2 cloves of garlic and then 1 bunch of cilantro.
Right. It's small to medium bunch. If it's a large bunch, I won't go with the whole thing. But so that's what we got here. Looks great. The colors are amazing. Now we start with a fork, okay? And we just start forking it up.
That looks great.
Give it a little mash.
Colors are super vibrant. You can see each ingredient. They're all those nice dice cut pieces, so you're going to get that texture that Chris was talking about. It's not going to be just kind of a mushy guacamole paste, I guess, that you kind of see sometimes. And like Chris said, this is something very simple that you could make to order at the table because you probably have your diced tomatoes, your diced onions, you have garlic, you have all these things on your line probably already in some capacity.
Sure.
That you're really just bringing avocados out with some other ingredients and you're making it to the...
You can make it to order. Yeah. Everything else is going to be on your line. It's not rocket science, right? So we're going to add a little bit of salt. Again, it's a salt to taste. You add it. You see what you got. It's usually about a teaspoon. Some fresh crushed pepper. All right. Give it a good mix.
And it's really important as you're adding that salt and pepper to be kind of tasting it at you, the chef. Because again, depending on the size of an avocado, depending on the heat of a jalapeno, the size of any of those things could really adjust flavor. So I think that's part of the thing. There's not going to be just an exact measurement to use. So start with a little bit of salt, pepper. You could always add a little bit more in, and adjust to get that flavor that you're looking for your restaurant. I mean, at a first look, I mean, looks like it should dominate in today's competition because it looks awesome.
Come on, how hard was that? How hard was that? So, you know, we're gonna get started. You see how easy this is? So we start with the tomatoes here, Scott.
Yeah, so Chris already did the prep work, but we got 8 diced tomatoes, 8 ripe tomatoes, all diced.
And use whatever tomatoes you want. You could use the Roma. You could use whatever, especially this time of year, if you want to go with the heirloom or whatever you want to go with. This, you know, you could use because tomatoes tomato.
Right.
All right, we got some red onion.
Yeah, about a half red onion. I would say medium size to get the amount you want of this onion.
Right, you don't want to overpower with onion. Just want to give it a little flavor. All right, got the jalapenos.
Yeah, so we used 1 jalapeno. If it's larger, if they're smaller, you go with 2. Again, like we talked about with making guacamole. For this sake, it was 1 large jalapeno. When we cut it in half, we seeded half of it,
right,
to get it out, so it's not too super hot.
Well, we want a little kick in there. I mean, you gotta have a little kick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, so we left half of it with the seeds. Got the cilantro.
Yeah, so 1 cup of cilantro.
Got some fresh garlic chopped.
Yeah, it's about 4 cloves of garlic chopped up.
So who doesn't love fresh garlic, especially when it sits in this little olive oil? Right, it's gonna be great. Got the lime juice.
Yep. So that was about 2 fresh squeezed limes in there. And again, even something like that, it's simple. You know, you're buying that prepackaged lime juice. You're not gonna get the flavor as those fresh ones, and it didn't really take much time. And about a half a cup of oil. To finish
It's
it off.
olive oil, right? We went extra virgin. You want to go with something good here. You don't want to use a canola or some cooking oil. You want it to be an extra virgin olive oil because that's where a lot of flavors coming from. You want to go. Tomatoes love salt. You want to go with a good teaspoon to a teaspoon and a half. You can always check it because tomatoes are different. Don't add it all at once. Add a teaspoon, see if you need more. There's some crushed black pepper in there. And there we go. So, we're going to give it a nice mix. It's very simple, man. How hard is this?
Yeah, I mean, really, once we were kidding around about earlier in the prep work, it really didn't take Chris much time to get all this prepped up. And I mean, again, a serving size of this, I mean, it's a pretty good sized portion of sauce. I mean, it's going to give you, depending on what you're doing, if you're serving as an appetizer or like on a bruschetta, it's going to take more, but from your normal portion size to add to one of your other items, you're only going to add 2 to maybe 4 ounces of salsa for each.
Right, and this should be made earlier in the day. The longer it hangs out in the fridge, all the flavors come together. You get a really good flavor. If you were in a pinch and you made it late in the day, give it at least 15 minutes in the fridge. You don't want to go right from prep to the table.
Okay.
Right. So I mean, it's just something you do want to prep ahead of time. And if you prep a batch like this, you might be doing that 3-4 times a day, making money on it. So it's a great offset your food costs.
Yeah, it's going to be a great
very low.
addition.
Yeah, it's going to be very low. Especially put it as an appetizer, then you start using it on top of some of your proteins. It's really going to go a long way.
Yeah, and I think as we're seeing a lot of as the protein and the burger and meat prices continue to rise, you can charge more for a burger that has the fresh salsa on it or different things, and that's going to offset that you might not want a $22 burger on your menu. But when you get it, that 16, 17 range is not that crazy right now, depending on where you are. This really helps you get to that.
That helps. It elevates the burger. It elevates the chicken sandwich. It elevates anything that you do because it's a fresh item, and people can tell when it comes out to them to eat. They know that you prepared this in-house, and it's not something you could just get anywhere. We're just going to go right to the oil now. This is how this starts. Just take your cutlet, you come on over. You want to lay it away from you. Start at you and lay away from you. So there's a splash that doesn't splash on you. And you don't want to overcrowd it, the pan, because it's going to lower the temperature of the oil. So there you go. That's going to go for a few minutes. You're going to see it turn golden brown, and we're going to take it off. So what I fry, the only difference between this and a fryer, really, I think you get a better taste from this. There's a little more work involved. You got to have the thermometer in there. You got to keep it around 350, so it's on, off the whole time. So it's a little work involved. You have the fryer, it's set on 350. it fires up by itself.
Yeah, you have
right?
3 fryers, you can knock out
Right, you
a
can
lot
knock
more
out in no
chicken at
time.
one time. But,
But
yeah.
you know, this is what we have, and listen, if nothing else, we're adaptable. We go work on any kind of circumstance.
I mean, it's cooking quick. I mean, that's the nice part when you start hitting in the fryer is it's going to get temperature very quick. The internal temperature is going to get to the 165 we need to very quickly.
Right. You know, and again, this is good food. This is not fast food, right? You want fast food, you go to McDonald's. You want good food, you watch F Your Business podcast. We'll get you set the right way. You can see the golden brown in there already. We're just hovering around like 340 with the oil, so I'm going to turn this up a little bit. Try to keep it around 350. As you add the chicken in, the chicken's still a little cold, it's going to drop the temperature of that oil.
And that was also the advantage of him slicing nice and thin. It's
Right.
going to cook a lot quicker than we tried to fry a really thick chicken breast in there.
We're really not far from being done.
Yeah, we're probably at, what, less than 2 minutes and we're almost done.
Yeah, I'm going to say a minute.
Yeah.
You see it floating already.
Right.
When I first put it in, you see it sink.
Yeah.
Now look at it at the top. I just want to get that good golden brown, maybe another 15 seconds, and it's going to come out.
Yeah, you think a lunch item or lunch sandwich you can get on your menu and be from start to finish done in a 6-minute cook time? And I'm talking about cook, put it on a bread,
Right.
make put all the ingredients on it, and get out to the customer. That adds a pretty quick lunch service.
Is that a win? That's a win. Look at the color on that.
That's nice.
Look at that. Sitting on our tray over here. Drain the excess oil. Look at that. If you wasn't hungry, I'm sure you're hungry now. All right, so we got all the meatballs rolled. They're ready to go. Look at all the color on that. Why would you ever buy a packaged meatball again? It's so easy to do. Don't do that. Don't buy packaged meatballs. Make them. Takes you total half hour from start to finish to put such a great product on your menu. All right, we're going to start frying them now. So there we go. Let's get over here. We got our oil up to 350. Again, if you have a fryer, use it. You don't have to use cast iron. Cast iron worked in Nona's kitchen. It's going to work here. But if we had a fryer, we would use it. But this holds temperature really well. So we don't have any problems. You don't want to overcrowd the pan because you're going to lower the oil too much. So you want to give them a little spin so they don't stick. Give them the spin. They don't stick.
I like the little spin, Chris. I'm not gonna lie. I like that. I like that spin.
Practice makes perfect, buddy. Watch this one.
A little flair, like a little flair to it.
Look at that. Look at that frying. And we got this right around 350. It's a little bit over. I'm going to lower this a little bit. There you go. So this is going to cook 2-3 minutes aside. We're going to flip them. Once I get them all done and trayed, I'll put them in the oven for about 10 minutes. Just to make sure that they're all the way cooked through since they're not going into the gravy. All right. So what do you got for us, Scott? What else you got? Is that what you know about a meatball? That's it?
We got them. I'm just waiting now to eat. So what are we gonna have? So in the taste test, we'll obviously go, meatball versus meatball. But
Yes.
what else? What are we gonna have for lunch meatball? You told us all these different ways we could cook. Cook it up.
Yeah. So I didn't go crazy like I did with the chicken cutlets.
Okay. All right.
I mean, simply because, it's time consuming and we didn't really have that kind of time today. So we're just going to go simple with long hots and a little provolone.
All right. That
All right,
sounds
keep it
great.
real simple, real traditional. But you could do everything we did on that chicken cutlet, from the broccoli olive to the spinach to whatever we put on it, the Parmesan, you could do with this. Here, we still hover around 350. We're going to turn them in a minute. I'll show you. Look at that golden brown.
That's a nice looking meatball right there. It's gonna hold that flavor really nice.
Just want to give it another minute before I give it the flip.
And Chris, like normal, we'll put the recipe up on the website. So come to the website, check out. Chris you're gonna give the secret recipe away, or are you gonna?
I'm going to give it to him.
All right, he's
Listen,
gonna give the secret recipe away. So
I'm a nice guy. I don't need to hold it for myself. I want to make sure everybody can enjoy these meatballs. I like when people enjoy food. That's what it's all about. Look at the color on these. Beautiful. Golden brown. So I'm going to let the other side go for about 2 or 3 minutes. We'll trade them up, and we'll get started with the next batch. Yep. So we're going to start with an easy one, right? Again, simple syrup infused with basil. As you're making a simple syrup, you throw some basil in there, let it cook down, let it sit for a couple days
then remove the basil. So it's really simple. All right, so we're gonna go with the vodka. I don't usually use these, but I guess for this I will because
We'll do both. You know, we'll start with some jiggers. We'll do some free
I'm definitely a
pouring.
free pour.
Same thing with the jiggers. Make sure if you're using jiggers, your team's using jiggers, they have one that would measure by the line, the fill line, one that would be the meniscus. So same thing, if we're trying to manage labor, manage costs on beverages, you need to know that because it could be like, an eighth of an ounce or a quarter of an ounce difference by using a different sort of jigger. So know what you have in your restaurant.
Exactly what Scott said. I like to throw a basil leaf in there, and I'm making 2 drinks here. So we're going to use 2 ounces of the simple syrup. There's usually 1 ounce per drink.
Nice and simple syrup, super easy, right? Sugar, water. And this one, Chris fancied up, add some basil, but again, super easy recipe to sweeten, add some flavor. Any of your drinks.
I mean, just so everyone knows, you can go with rosemary in there, sage, anything you want. I just happen to this time of year, I like a nice basil martini. So I figure
There's a lot of drinks you like this time of year, but
well, this is one of them.
all right.
All right, here we go.
Give it a little harder shake, Chris. I don't think you're giving it hard enough.
You don't want to, can't bruise the vodka. We're not going to bruise the vodka. Just want to chill it. I'm not here to beat it
I
up.
want some nice ice crystals in my martini. I don't know you're going to get them that way.
This is not a heavyweight fight. I feel my hands getting cold. I see this frosting.
This is what happens when you let a chef to the bar.
Oh, listen. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. All right, here we go. Oh, that's a good-looking martini. Get the basil in there. There we go. Let it hang off the side like that. Almost got 5 o'clock somewhere. Let's see how we did.
Let's give it a taste.
That is not bad.
Does nice work.
I'm actually
That's
going to
good.
say, forget not bad. It is great. So over here we have, this is just regular coffee. I made it last night. I put it in the fridge. That's all you do with it. You have coffee in the restaurant, put it in a container, put it in the fridge. You can start making espresso martinis. Nice and simple. It's equal parts. You just go 2 ounces of each. Got the coffee, we got the
Use any vodka
vodka.
you want. Chris is a Tito's guy, as you can see by all of our videos.
Yeah.
But
I support Tito's. It's good company. So there we go. We're gonna give it a good shake. A little shake and bake. Forget about the Tito's. They're good for dogs. Get cold. Since we got the new cup, I'm definitely not putting it back
I
here.
like that.
I'll do it in front of me. When we get the real bartender over here, she can do it.
Let's bring her in.
You want to try?
Oh, it's a good shake. I get it. A nice
I'll
shake.
tell you what, I made one already, so I can make enough for 3. So you shake out for you and Chelsea. I don't like that. I don't know. You're gonna break it. It's all
The
brutal.
bartenders are there nodding their head in the pool like that.
Chelsea, it's good, Chelsea. All right, I got it. All right. All right. Well, here comes the problem now. Unless you're a bartender or strong,
Almost broke the bar with that strike.
then you got it. But see, this is what you got to do now. This becomes a problem when you're not a bartender. I don't know.
Chris, that's a pretty nice pour you got going on there.
Chelsea, get that certificate ready. Ready? So there you go. Look at that. Does that look like a martini or what? Nice espresso martini. Let's garnish it. Boom. There you go. That's done.
That's nice.
So we have about 1.5 pounds ground pork here. A little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. And then we're going to build it with everything to make the stuffing. Again, it says seasoning in layers, and that's important. All right, that way. So right here, I have the onions and the garlic already sauteed.
Perfect.
So they're going to go in. There you go. Real nice. Right.
That sounds like one onion, right? For that, basically, is one.
Yeah, it's one onion. You know, we're gonna put the recipe up so you guys have it.
Awesome.
But it's one small onion. You know, if he's got a big onion, just use half of it. We have a cup of like around Romano cheese.
That's 1 cup. And we got some rice.
We got rice here. So we have it's cooked. It's like 1 cup cooked rice, right? So I don't want to put this all in at once.
Okay.
I'm only going to do like 3/4 of it. And then if I think it could take the rest, I'll put it.
Got it.
I'm going to put about that much. I'm going to leave this out, but I probably will add it eventually, okay? Here I got like a handful of parsley, just chopped up, roughly chopped. Get that in there. And then over here, this is the red pepper marinara we're making. It's here. We cooled it. It's ready to go. We're going to put it in. Put about a cup to start. And then if I want to add a little more, I can. It depends on how this is looking. Now you got to get in here and you got to get messy.
All right.
This is the fun part.
This is the meat of it.
I don't want to have all the fun. You want to do it?
Yeah, let's go.
I'm afraid you might not mix it right.
Oh,
But
I
this
don't want to right? I mean, it's supposed to be left out. There is a way to mix it correctly.
right.
Bring it in from the sides.
This is
right?
like the meatball.
Yeah.
We don't want to over mix it, right? Generally, you're folding it. You're not mixing really. You're folding. That's all. You keep folding, keep folding, keep
It's nice to
folding.
get everything's evenly spread out.
Right. You can see how it's all getting evenly spread. The marinara is starting to cover the whole thing. I'm going to use the rest of that rice. I'm going to use a little more marinara because it can take it. It's building up nice. You just never know. I'll put a little more than this. Put it all. So that was 2 cups of the marinara. That's going to make it nice. There you go. Real nice.
That's great.
And this is going to ensure a nice juicy stuffed pepper. You're not going to worry about it being dried out. Trust me. Look at
So
that.
once it cooks it down, that sauce is all going to absorb into it.
Oh yeah, yeah. And the rice, helps absorb it. So there you go. That's it mixed. Looks great. And then take the easy part.
Use some stuffing.
Now we got to go with this over here. I don't need this anymore. So what you want to do with this is you want to get some. Come over here and take a look at this. We want to get a little bit of marinara on here. Okay. This is what we're going to lay the peppers on. Spread it around. Shake this out. You don't want to drown them in it. You just want to make sure you cover the pan. All right, that's going to cover the pan. So I'll shake it out. I'll move it around. There you go. That's how you do that, okay? Now, take the peppers. Just stuff them. You don't want to completely overstuff them because then your protein won't cook, right? So this is it. Boom. Look at that. Think of beauty. Okay? All right. So let me tell you with these, Scott. You could do anything you want with these. Any protein. When it's during the week, like on the weekends, I told you, I eat whatever I want.
Right.
But Monday through Thursday, I kind of stay in check, right? So I'll make these stuffed peppers for myself. But I'll make it with ground chicken, or I'll make it with turkey, ground turkey, and I'll use brown rice,
Okay.
right? So if you want to put a heart-healthy item on your menu, that's the way to go with it. But if you want to just have a stuffed pepper, you could use pork, you could use beef, you could do any kind of Italian sausage or chorizo, anything.
Endless possibilities of how you want to go with it.
Right. So if you want to make it vegetarian, is what I'll tell you to do is you take this sauce, you cook it down. When it gets to there, you add chickpeas to it. You let that cook a little bit, let the chickpeas absorb that flavor, and then you take the chickpeas out of this, and you stuff the chickpeas in here, and then you use that to top it.
Right.
Right.
It's always good to have those vegetarian options.
Right.
You know,
And that's a great vegetarian option.
Yes.
Yeah, but see how I said like, we need to hollow these out because you want to make sure you could get the stuffing in there.
Yeah, you're getting nice surface area.
You don't
now.
want to
We're seeing a lot
cheat
of
the
meat.
people. You want to give a nice stuffed pepper. Like I say, you put it on your menu for an appetizer. You serve one, it's $12 easy. You put it on as a dinner option, you go a little more, right? I'm not saying charge $24,
Right.
but maybe you go $18. But people love these. Again, and use any kind of pepper you want. Try what kind of pepper you want. It don't have to be a bell pepper. Was that a Hungarian that it?
I don't know. I'm gonna guess it's a little bit different than your version. I think yours It's come a long way over the years, but no, I think this looks great. It gives people that fresh option. We always love, looking at vibrant, colorful items.
Yeah.
I mean, this looks as vibrant, as colorful as you're going to get.
Well, you know the old saying, what do you eat with first?
You gotta eat with your eyes.
With your
I
eyes.
think this is definitely going to make it easy to start with that.
You eat with your eyes. I mean, this is it.
And other items, we talk a lot about food costs, and we talk a lot about portioning. It's very easy to, we're doing it for this, but you could easily say each one's going to be 3 ounces of mix, and have a scoop.
You would absolutely be doing this by that. I mean, I'm not, because I know what I'm doing.
Right. But again, for recipe adherence, it would be very easy to say, hey, each one's going to be 3 ounces or 3 ounces is half pepper. So as you're trying to figure out your menu costing cards, it would not be too hard to. Obviously, you're something
Because
that
if you're running your kitchen correctly, you absolutely, that's the way you're doing it. You're not going to try to do it any other way. If you try to do it any other way, you're going to be losing money.
I think you might have made about a perfect amount here. I think we, to the exact number we needed.
I told you,
Exact
what I'm
amount. It's
doing.
not your first rodeo here on making some stuffed peppers.
I told you. Kind of have an idea what I'm doing here. Like I said, definitely not my first rodeo, but these are one of my favorite things to make. There you go. I mean, you put that on the menu as an appetizer, $12. Look at that. Right? We're going to show you how to finish this. Now, we're going to put this in the oven. We preheated the oven to 400 degrees. Everybody's oven is different. And cook it 45 minutes to an hour. We're going to check it in and out in 45 minutes and see where we're at. We'll see how this oven is. I'm not sure. And then, from there, we'll show you how to plate it. Here we
Awesome.
go.
We'll give it a try.
You mind opening that, or I have to? Do you want to put it in too? Because
No, I don't want you to lose the glory again.
No, it's okay. You can have
getting
this
the
part.
finish fit it in.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? It's like I started from scratch and made them now, right?
Look at that in
I
there.
can take 'em
a
out.
look right in there. Look at that. There you
And
go.
we will see peppers. We'll see you in 45 minutes.
45 minutes. We're all All right, so we're gonna go in over here. That's what you want to hear. That's what you want to hear. That's it. Exactly what you want to hear. So we're going to let it sear right here for a couple minutes. Once we flip them, we'll get a good sear again. So we're going to lower the heat. We're going to add some herbs, some butter, some garlic, and then we're just going to taste it and cook it down. But it's going to take a couple minutes. So we're just going to let this go right here, right now. But just how you know it was at the right temperature, no stick.
Right. It's cooking nicely. You can
Right.
see the nice sear already. I can already see
Right.
if it on both of them.
Yep. If we would have put this in cold oil or warm oil, would have stuck to the pan.
I think it just shows you
There you
that
go.
when you
That's what a
have
sear should look like.
That's perfect. I mean, I think it goes back to showing you that if you didn't have a flat top grill or you didn't have a broiler, you can still cook really great items with the equipment that you have. I think that's what you're seeing is different than a frozen one. That it's getting a little, it's already kind of shrinking down a little more. We're not really losing much on our fresh one.
So it's definitely a difference here. That's shrinking down. There's definitely water added. You see the water in there. It's kind of splashing more. So once we get the good sear on this side, we're going to turn it down some. We're almost there. There's another minute there. And then we're going to turn the heat down. We're going to add butter, garlic, herbs, and then we'll baste it. And we'll baste it till it's done. I want to cook it to, I'm a rare to medium rare guy.
Yeah, it's perfect.
So that's what we're going to cook it to. Obviously, this one here is going to be done faster. It's so thin. Got that sear there. So I'm going to turn him down. I'm going to turn him down. We get some butter, and I'm going to get some rosemary in there. Just going to get some rosemary on top. Get the butter in there. Couple cloves of
So we're not going to say it's a healthy version of steak with that butter
Definitely not.
in there. All right.
Definitely not the help version. And here you go, right here. Wow, that's the sear you want. So we're going to turn this down. All right?
Look how beautiful that looks. You can go to frozen steak.
No, sure. Hey, you're
Get the
still gonna,
butter in there.
I bet when you're said and done with it, it's still gonna have a nice flavor to it. But I think what we're showing still is you still have such a much better product than the fresh one.
Listen, the way we're cooking it, it's going to have a good flavor. There's no doubt about it. So now I'll get this over here. I'm just going to baste it up. Just keep basting it up. Right, the garlic's flavor and everything here, the rosemary's flavor and everything here. Baste it up. That's it. We're going to cook it for a few minutes here. We're going to bring it to about 125 to 130. And then turn the temperature and then take it off. That looks wonderful. Nice brown butter sauce right here. This how you do it on the line. You go back and forth.
Look at that technique, though. Look at that technique you got on there. Making it look easy.
Get it down a little bit. Tiny bit low right there. Now we're just let it finish cooking. A lot of people go to the oven at this point. And they'll leave it in the oven for a few minutes. But I like to keep it right there. Let it keep basting it.
Okay. See that flavor coming in?
Oh yeah. Here we go.
Wow. Wow.
Is that a perfectly cooked steak or what?
It really is. It doesn't get any better than that.
No. So here's what we did. We cooked them exactly the same. I put the same love into both.
Right.
Right? This one I put a herb butter on. You see it melted down. And I put a little bit of kosher salt. Anytime you cut a steak open like this, you want to put a little flaky salt. Right? Sea salt, kosher salt. So I'm going to do that to this one right here. So I'm going to hit it with the nice chimichurri that I made. So I'll get that on there. I just want to hit it with some of this.
Wow. The color it gives the steak. Just look at it. It makes the whole dish really just kind of
You
pop.
send that out to a customer. What's going to happen? Huh?
Pretty delicious.
They're coming back for more.
You come back for more. And I think that's what we look at. So, does the frozen one look terrible?
No.
It does not. Right? It's not. Did we lose a little more shrinkage on it? We did.
But you can see the color in the sear.
Yes.
Right? That sear is great.
Right.
We're getting a nice brown sear on the fresh. So there is, even though that looks
There
good.
is a difference. Oh,
Yeah.
but yes.
And it was really, it was a little too thin for my liking. Like I got it to a medium where I'm more of it like right here, like closer to the rear. But it's so thin, you don't have a choice. You want to get that sear. But we're still right inside, still pink. It still looks good. I'm sure it's going to taste good. I don't think it's going to taste bad unless you get that nervy piece.
Right.
You get that nerve, it's not going to be, you can't chew it, you can't swallow it.
Yeah. Well, guess what? We're going to taste it right here. We're going to try it out.
And because we got the other ones ready for the crew to do their taste test.
We figure we got two steaks right here. We're not going
Right.
to just let them sit and not.
When we cut this in half, Scott.
Yeah,
I'll
perfect.
take half of that. Right, we'll try it.
Yeah, it's got your garlic butter on there, so it's going to taste good.
Got the herb butter, so as long as you don't get that nerve, which I took a centerpiece hoping we wouldn't. Well, I did. I got a nerve. But still tastes good. I don't know. The herb butter really does.
It's really good. The sear is really nice. You can get the nice salt pepper flavor from when you put it on the beginning.
Problem is, I got a nerve. You can't swallow it. You can't chew it. You can't swallow it. You can't chew it. It's impossible. All right.
I was digging in.
You just take a whole one.
I'm not splitting this one with you.
This one we don't have to share. Perfect cook on it. Yeah, baby. That's there.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A little flavor from your sauce is great, and we saw what easy sauce that was, but it just gives a great flavor to the steak.
Take a little Fresno pepper that I fried off. A little Fresno with it, with the chimichurri sauce. You ain't gonna go wrong with this. Let me tell you.
Yeah, no, I mean, a fresh steak is definitely, even through all the sauce, through all the flavoring, fresh steak, it is better, right? It's a better steak. It's better quality. You can tell it's, it's a little bit thicker. You don't get as thin, so it just cooks a little bit nicer.
It's thicker. That sear is spot on. It's tender. I mean, it's another level. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I think again, it comes down to where if you're paying more for this product, and I think that's where if you really look at the difference of, really what we were talking about earlier, a lot of the restaurants are now serving some sort of steak. All those chain restaurants from the Applebee's all the way to the Outback on Longhorn Roadhouse.
Right.
They're all doing there's a steak on their menu.
But they're not serving a prime choice.
No.
They're getting the lower grade.
Right.
And they're not realizing that they really are paying more for that. So coming in frozen, they're this cut here, which it doesn't taste terrible. It's just what you have to eat around.
It's not a bad product
Right.
overall. It's not, but to pay more for it, and then again, I mean, those places are now at, you see some of the specials or whatever, the LTOs, but they're $19 to $23 dishes. I mean, it's not going to wow me for $19, $22. Again, before the sauce on, because they're not putting that.
They're not doing that.
They're not doing that. So
Right.
it's not going to be as big as this. I mean, you're getting probably a 6 ounce.
Usually 6 ounce.
7,
steak.
8, depending.
I mean, 8 if you're lucky, but it's usually 6 ounce. And sometimes they won't even bother going with like the end of the New York strip. They're going to go with a sirloin.
I would say that's probably the most one you see.
Right.
Like not like an Outback, but like the other restaurants.
Right.
Fridays or.
I mean, for me, a sirloin is something you slow cook. It takes time to break it down, make it tender, make a steak out. It's really tough. It's hard to eat. It's even hard eating that nerve that's in there.
Right.
It's
So if you're
just-
going to put that on your menu, your restaurant, again, our goal is for you to elevate above what those other restaurants are doing, and I think that's where that elevates you as a.
We want to elevate them above it, right? But with that aside, this is more profitable and a better product to your guest.
Right.
Why wouldn't you want to use it? If it's going to put more money to your bottom line, it's definitely going to put more money to your top line because people are going to come in for it.
Right. That's the other part of it.
And it's just better. I can't see that. There's no argument for me to say I'm going to put this on my menu.
Right. Like we
I
said,
can't.
hey, if you had 2 of those steaks in your freezer at home because you know what, it was a Thursday night, there was nothing
Right.
going on, you're like, you know what, I'm going to pull that out and I'm going to put on the grill. It'll be fine.
Whatever you
There'll
want
be
to
no
do, because
issue.
you're at home. If you want to keep pulling the nerve out of your mouth and throwing it away, it's okay. But when you sit at a restaurant, you have to do that. You feel like, people are looking at me.
And you're trying to
can't
charge
swallow.
$30 to $35
Well, that's
for
different.
a steak.
Well, you can actually charge less for this and make more.
Right.
It blows my mind. I don't know. Well, I think this is once again another successful challenge.
Right.
Now we got to see what the people think.
Sure.
Because that nerve ran all the way through. I just saw it before it was cooked. I thought maybe we could get a centerpiece without one, but we didn't. I got the nerve.
Got it.
So when somebody's eating that, they're going to know.
Right.
Right? Like, this is not the same as this one. Once they eat it, this one melts in your mouth.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
That's where it wasn't a bad product, but it just didn't give you the same
Right.
flavor.
And they don't look the same. This
No.
sear is beautiful. This sear is more oil. I'm happy it got a sear on it because I didn't
Right.
think it was going to.
Right.
So I'm happy.
You
it
still have
did.
some of that water in from that when you thaw that. Even though it's thawed.
I kind of think it's just because I'm such a good cook. I got a sear on it.
Right. It's fair. It's fair. We can all agree.
I'm gonna say it was me.
That's the. But,
Somebody's got to take the credit. Might as well be me.
Might as well be you. But again, just trying to translate this. So everything you guys do is, hey, get creative, put some cool sauces, make it your own.
Yeah.
But then again, let's think outside the box. Just because you bring in a case of frozen sirloins for as long as you've been open, or as long as you remember, change it around. You know what I mean? Bring a fresh product and see if the staff, see if your customers see something different with that. And see if you see a better result from the like you said, top line, bottom line.
And nothing else. Your sales, if they don't change at all, you're still going to push more money to the bottom line because it's cheaper.
Exactly.
So even if your sales didn't change, which I believe they will,
Sure.
you're going to push more money to the bottom line even if they stay flat the way they are because the product is cheaper.
Right. Exactly. So
And as we go back to always, people are so scared to run out of anything on their menu.
right.
Like, I can't run out of steaks. I want to freeze them. You know what? I'd rather you tell me, I ran out and get more in tomorrow.
Right.
You know what? I'm sure someone's on your menu I want.
Right.
Especially if you run your restaurant that way.
Yeah.
That I'm keeping a fresh product. I sold out. It was a crazy day. It was a crazy 2 days, whatever the case. Right? I mean, that's just what I believe. I would rather you tell me that you sold out and I'll pick something else off your menu.